A major event in Marx's life during these years was the foundation in 1864 in Paris of International Working Men's Association, now known as the First International in the Communist movement. The First International was an effort to bring the working classes of the world together into international association. Though retiring in public, Marx was the power behind the throne and wrote most of the association's documents, addresses, rules, and programs. Internal quarrels, rivalry for the leadership, together with all kinds of corruption, brought disrepute to the organization and caused the collapse of the Paris Commune in 1871. The First International was dissolved in 1871. Subsequently, it was succeeded by Second International, representing Western Socialist Group, and the Third International or Comintern of the communist world. The prolonged period of gestation for Das Kapital finally drew to a close. Late in 1866, the complete manuscript of Volume 1 was sent to Hamburg, and in August 1867, the printed work came off the press. It was written in Germany. The first translation of Das Kapital into another language, appropriately in the light of future events, was a Russian edition in 1872. English translation of Das Kapital was available only in 1892, that is, after about 20 years of Russian publication. In Karl Marx's day, England was the prime exhibit of the working of the capitalist system. Examples to illustrate his economic theories were drawn from the working conditions existing in the England during Marx's time. Horrible instances were plentiful for the institution of capitalism. Mid-Victorian period was at its worst. Social conditions in factory communities were indescribably bad. Basing on his findings upon official report of the government inspectors, Marx presented the fact accurately in The Capital, to use the English title. During those days, women pulled canal boats along the tow path with a chain over their shoulders during Victorian period. Women were harnessed with chains like beasts of burden to car pulling coal out of British mines. In England those days, children began to work in the factory mills, in the textile mills, when they were 9 or 10 years old, and labored 12 to 15 hours a day. The practice of night shift came into vogue, and the beds in which children slept were said to never get cold, for they were used in shift. Tuberculosis and other occupational disease killed them off at high rate. Karl Marx was highly agitated against these inhuman practices. Protest over the terrible conditions, led by no means limited to Marx. Such warm-hearted humanitarians as Charles Dickens, John Ruskin, Thomas Cryle wrote voluminously. Mass protest was a regular feature during those days. Public in mass were demanding reforms. Mass protest aroused the British Parliament to corrective legislation. Marx took much pride in his scientific approach to economic and social problems. As Engels said, just as Darwin discovered the law of evolution in organic nature, so Marx discovered the law of evolution in human history. Communist movement throughout the world laid their complete faith in this approach. Intellectuals from various fields, especially from arts and cultural background, took this view that Marx has discovered the scientific approach to human history. Economic phenomena, stated superambitious Marx, can be watched and recorded with precision proper to natural sciences. Frequently, he referred to the work of biologists, chemists, and physicists. It was clear that he aspired to become the Darwin of sociology, or perhaps the Newton of economics. We need to judge the Marx claim of his theory is scientific in the light of basic phenomenon science rule about repeatability of an event. Marx's theory on economic phenomenon are dependent on existing time and social conditions, and phenomenon are never repeatable.